Let's talk details. Tron Legacy, a 2010 film by first-time director Joseph Kosinski, exists as a loving sequel to Steve Lisberger's 1982 Tron, and as a breathtaking cyberpunk adventure. Out in the real world, Flynn's arcade in Tron 1982 was the historic Hull building in Culver City, California. Unfortunately, they couldn't shoot at the original location, so Guilford and Kosinski instead decided to painstakingly recreate the original interior and a portion of the exterior in Vancouver. The exterior even includes the Space Paranoids billboard on the roof, but with the addition of the Tron logo. Flynn's video game parlor now is on Mead Avenue. This is a reference to Sydney Mead, the legendary visual designer who did much of the work on the original Tron. Inside the arcade, the popular Tron tie-in game makes an appearance. However, the console shown is credited to the in-universe software company ENCOM rather than the creators Bally Midway. Sam Flynn, played by Garrett Hedlund, is seen wearing a stylized 89 on the back of his helmet in the motorcycle scene in the real world. The number is both the year that Kevin Flynn disappeared into the grid, as well as a number mailed as a sticker decal to every participator in the Flynn Lives ARG in the months before the film. Among the first files seen when Sam runs a bin/history search are a sanity check and Kevin Flynn's last will and testament. Castor, played by Michael Sheen, behaves with a very provocative and whimsical manner, a stark contrast to the heavy atmosphere of both the environment and the story.
Zeus can unite the factions, foment revolution.
Why, of course Zeus can do these things.
Grant me an audience.
Being a very big fan of the original Tron, when he was offered the role of Zeus, Sheen wanted to immediately accept the role. However, Sheen's agents wanted him to keep that quiet, as Disney would definitely lowball his salary. Sheen drew inspirations from Mae West and Ziggy Stardust for his performance, as well as several other characters across cinema.
Of all the innumerable possibilities,
All the gin joints in all the towns in all the world.
he has to walk into mine.
She walks into mine.
For everybody!
At the time of release, critics adored Sheen's performance, citing him as the highlight of the cast. Olivia Wilde plays Quorra, a mysterious and naive program who joins Sam on his journey. Mimicking our own DNA, her code has 3 strands. When standing over the board game with black and white stones, Quorra mentions to Sam Flynn
His patience usually beats out my more aggressive strategy.
that she rarely beats Kevin Flynn. The board game is Go, a game notoriously difficult for computers to play well. When the movie was filmed, the best Go programs were only able to manage an intermediate to amateur level. Until March 23rd, 2017, when Google's AlphaGo beat the world human champion. The song Separate Ways, Worlds Apart by Journey, playing in the arcade when Sam Flynn turns on the arcade breakers, fits in 2 ways. The song foreshadows the events of the film and Sam's relationship with his father. Additionally, many of the 45 RPM singles made in the early 80s for jukeboxes featured that song and Only Solutions from the original Tron's arcade scene as the B-side. The only reference to Wendy Carlos's score for Tron 1982 is right here.
Bum, 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 bum.
Sam's childhood bedroom features an original 1980s Macintosh computer, toys from the original Tron, and a poster for the 1979 film The Black Hole, another film from the same era as Tron, and a similar Disney foray into science fiction. Director Joseph Kosinski's next project was to be a remake of The Black Hole from Disney, but they chose to do Brad Bird's Tomorrowland instead.
How is this a good idea?
When Garrett Hedlund is breaking into ENCOM, and when the door opens, he says,
Now that is a big door.
in the original Tron 1982, Jeff Bridges also does the same at ENCOM, with a similar comment.
Now that is a big door.
The security camera in the ENCOM building has a striking resemblance to a particular Walt Disney mascot. Cillian Murphy appears with an uncredited cameo as Edward Dillinger II, meaning to be the son of Edward Dillinger, played by David Warner, the primary antagonist of the first film who stole credit for Kevin Flynn's video games. His uncredited appearance is hopefully hints at a possible sequel. Sam's apartment is built from old shipping containers. One such container is labeled Dumont Shipping. A program called
Dumont
appeared in the original Tron and resembles Sir Walter Gibbs, who founded ENCOM in his garage. When Alan Bradley first meets Flynn, the younger man slips out of his t-shirt to put on a clean one. Kevin Flynn does the same when he meets Alan Bradley in the original.
This isn't happening.
Is the first thing that Sam says after entering the grid. Kevin said the same thing when he first crossed into the ENCOM Grid.
Oh man, this isn't happening.
One of the sirens remarks,
He's different.
Ram says something similar about Kevin Flynn in the first film. Both events contain programs sensing that the Flynns are different. They're a user. Once the sirens have finished dressing Sam, an off-screen female voice announces the same words that Sark addresses to Kevin before their game training begins.
Attention program. You will receive an identity disc. Everything you do or learn will be imprinted on this disc. If you lose your disc or fail to follow commands, you will be subject to immediate resolution.
This is Bit, which assisted both the original Clue and Flynn in the ENCOM system. Steven Lisberger, producer of the film and director of the original TRON, is the end-of-line club's bartender. When instructing Quorra how to fly the light jet, Kevin says to her,
It's all in the wrist.
In the original, after Kevin beats the Space Paranoids record at the arcade, he says the secret is ordering Rensler to shoot at Flynn's light jet in the final battle. Clue tells him to finish the game! Sark, in the first film, tells Flynn to finish the game! During Flynn's first disc battle. The shot in the grid is an homage to both the poster with Tron and Yori and when Tron contacts Alan 1 in the Io Tower in the first film. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more Tron videos, subscribe to be notified in 2 weeks when I release my video about the design aspects of Tron Legacy.
PRZZAPRTY.
End of line.